Think about the men who never struggle for attention, the ones who walk into a room and you immediately feel their presence, the ones who never have to try too hard, yet they effortlessly attract respect, admiration, and desire. Why? Because they live by a code, a mindset so powerful, so unshakable, that the world can't help but pay attention. And today, you're about to unlock that code. 7 unbreakable Stoic habits that will make you irresistible, dominant, and impossible to ignore. These habits are what separate the men who command attention from the ones who are forgotten. Pay attention. Because most people will never understand this, but those who do, their entire life changes. If you're ready to step into your power, comment "unshakable" below and let the world know you are done being overlooked. Every single day, men give their power away. They text first. They over-explain. They seek approval. They break their own rules just to fit in. And then they wonder why no woman values them. It's because attraction isn't about words. It's about energy. The weak energy, it's desperate. It's insecure. It's seeking validation. That energy repels attraction. The strong energy, it's calm. It's certain. It's detached. That's what dominates without force. These 7 Stoic habits will install that energy into you. These aren't just tips. This is a new way of existing, a complete transformation. When you embody these, people sense it, without you saying a single word. If you're tired of being ignored, if you're done with chasing, if you're ready to become the one they desire, listen up. Number 1. Stop caring. What she thinks most men walk around as prisoners of approval, shackled by an invisible chain of neediness. Every word they say, every move they make is calculated to please, impress, or gain validation. It's why they fail. It's why they get ghosted, rejected, cheated on, and disrespected. They care too much. She pulls away, and he panics. She takes hours to reply, and he spirals. She seems a little off, and suddenly his entire mood is ruined. The second a man lets a woman's opinion dictate his self-worth, he loses power. He becomes weak in her eyes. Because if she can control your emotions, she controls you. Understand this. A woman doesn't want to be your emotional oxygen. She doesn't want a man who crashes the moment she pulls away. She wants a man so secure in himself, so unaffected by external validation, that he remains solid and unshaken, no matter what. You must be the man whose mood is never dictated by another person's actions. You stay calm. You stay centered. You are the prize. And the prize does not beg to be chosen. When you let go of needing her validation, something strange happens. You become more attractive. She starts chasing. She starts proving herself to you. Not because you manipulated her, not because you played games, but because certainty is rare. A man who is genuinely secure in himself is like a magnet. Stop waiting for a text. Stop analyzing what she meant. Stop trying to be enough. You were already enough before she even walked into your life. Her approval does not define you. You define yourself. When a man finally understands this, his entire energy shifts. He walks into a room differently. He speaks differently. He carries himself differently. And every single woman feels it. It's not about faking confidence. It's not about suppressing emotions. It's about mastering yourself so deeply that no one, not even the most beautiful woman you've ever met, can knock you off center. Number 2, control your reactions. Everything in life is a test, and most men fail before they even realize they were being tested. She cancels plans last minute. He flips out. She says something disrespectful. He raises his voice. She gives him the silent treatment. He starts over-explaining. Weak men react. Strong men observe. They assess and decide whether or not something is even worth responding to. Women test without even realizing it. It's in their nature. They need to feel your strength. They need to know that if life hits hard, you will not fold. And if you can't even handle a small emotional test, how can she trust you to handle life? She wants to know, Are you really the man you claim to be? Or do you just pretend until a little pressure makes you crumble? Most men react out of fear. They fear losing her, so they overcompensate. They fear being alone, so they tolerate disrespect. They fear not being enough, so they try too hard to prove themselves. And in doing so, they reveal their weakness. The strong man, he never acts from fear. He does not beg, plead, or demand respect. He naturally commands it because he has mastered his emotions. You cannot be a powerful man if anyone can push your buttons. You must train yourself to stay calm no matter what. She disrespects you? You walk away without saying a word. She plays games? You let her play alone. She tries to trigger you? You smirk and continue living your life. A man who controls himself controls the world. A man who is controlled by his emotions loses everything. Think about the men you admire. Do they panic? Do they lose themselves over someone else's opinion? Or are they solid, composed, and in control at all times? That's what makes them powerful. That's what separates them from the weak. And here's the reality. Most men will never master this. Most men will keep reacting, keep chasing, keep giving their power away. And that's why most men are ignored, left behind, and forgotten. But you, if you apply this, if you commit to becoming the calm in the storm, you will stand above 99% of men. Women will feel it, people will respect it, and your entire life will change, because true power isn't about controlling others. It's about being so in control of yourself that nothing, absolutely nothing, can shake you. Number 3. Become a man of mystery. If you are an open book, you are a boring book. Men who talk too much, who explain everything, who feel the need to justify themselves. They lose their power. They kill attraction with their own words. Silence is your weapon. Mystery is your greatest advantage. Women are wired to chase uncertainty. Their emotions thrive on it. The moment they figure you out completely, they lose interest. The reason why so many men get ghosted, dumped, and cheated on is simple. They became predictable. Predictability is the death of attraction. The moment a woman knows exactly what you'll say, what you'll do, how you'll react, her brain switches off. The game is over. This is why nice guys fail. They give away everything, their emotions, their schedules, their intentions, their thoughts, their entire being, without making her earn it. And what do women do when something is too easy? They take it for granted. Look around. Women obsess over men who are hard to read, men who don't seek approval, men who don't chase, the men who hold their cards close, who leave questions unanswered, who are unpredictable. They drive women crazy with curiosity. Women love mystery because mystery makes them feel something. It creates tension, excitement, desire. It triggers chase mode in their psychology. When a woman doesn't fully understand you, she keeps thinking about you. She wonders what's on your mind, why you do, what you'll do next. And the more she thinks about you, the more she feels attached to you. Understand this. Attention is currency. The more time a woman spends thinking about you, analyzing you, trying to figure you out, the more invested she becomes. Weak men overshare. They spill their emotions too fast. They tell their entire life story within the first conversation. They try to create closeness too soon. And what happens? She loses interest. Why? Because she didn't have to earn it. Women don't appreciate what's given freely. They value what they work for. The moment a woman knows everything about you, she stops being curious. And when curiosity dies, so does attraction. So how do you fix this? How do you become a man of mystery and power? Stop explaining yourself. Stop over-texting. Stop giving away your thoughts before they've even been asked for. When she asks you personal questions, give just enough to keep her intrigued, but never everything. When she asks what you're thinking, say, nothing you need to worry about. When she asks where you're going, say, you'll find out if you're lucky. When she tries to dig deeper, smirk and change the topic. Leave gaps. Let her wonder. Let her fill in the blanks. The more she fills in, the more her mind becomes obsessed with you. Most men don't get this. They think attraction is about impressing women with words. But the truth is, it's about making them feel something without saying much at all. Think about the men who dominate attention. Are they the ones constantly talking, explaining, oversharing? No, they are the ones who hold back. The ones who remain unpredictable. The ones who keep women wondering. Mystery creates the chase. If she knows she can't fully have you, she will work harder to get you. If she knows she can't read you easily, she will obsess over figuring you out. And if she never fully understands you, she will never stop chasing you. That's why some men stay attractive for years, while others get left behind in weeks. The choice is yours. Do you want to be the guy she takes for granted? Or do you want to be the guy who stays in her mind long after you've left the room? Be the mystery she can't solve, and watch her chase you endlessly. Number 4. Chase your purpose, not her. Every weak man has one thing in common. He puts women first. He sacrifices his goals, his vision, his ambitions, all for the illusion of love. He becomes a slave to validation, worshipping a woman who never even asked to be put on a pedestal. Then, the inevitable happens. She loses respect for him. She pulls away. She starts testing him more, challenging him, seeing if there's any spine left in the man she once admired. And when she realizes there's nothing left but a shell of a man who revolves around her, she leaves. This is the truth most men refuse to accept. Women are not attracted to men who make them their entire world. They are attracted to men who are so locked in on their mission, so dedicated to their growth, that they barely have time to chase after a woman. Why? Because purpose is power. A man on a mission is rare. He's focused, he's disciplined, he's building something bigger than himself. And that energy is magnetic. Look at the most desirable men in history. They weren't sitting around texting all day. They weren't planning cute dates or bending over backward to impress women. They were too busy winning at life. They were too busy becoming legends. And what happened? Women chased them. Women fought for their attention. Women worked to be part of their world, because their world was worth being in. Now look at the weak men, the ones who make her the center of everything, the ones who abandon their friends, their ambitions, their self-respect, all because they think being a good guy will make her stay. These are the men who get cheated on, walked over and discarded without hesitation. Not because women are cruel, not because women are heartless, but because weakness repels attraction. A woman does not want to be your purpose. She wants to be part of a man's already powerful life. She wants a man who is so focused on his empire that she has to fight for a place in it. This is why weak men always lose to men of purpose. The man who is too available, boring, the man who is always texting first, predictable, the man who waits around for her schedule, unattractive. But the man who is building, creating, growing, evolving, unstoppable. This is the reality of attraction. Women don't chase men who chase them. They chase men who chase something greater. A woman should never be the reason you wake up in the morning. Your mission should be. Your ambition should be your own. Your personal empire should be. If a woman senses that she is your top priority, she will subconsciously start to test you. She will pull back, watch your reaction, see if you break under pressure. And most men fail instantly. They start chasing harder. They start negotiating for attention. They try to win her back with words, and she loses even more respect for them. Why? Because a man on a mission doesn't have time to beg. A man who knows his worth doesn't need to convince anyone of it. This is why the most attractive men are the ones who are too busy living to waste time chasing. They have goals that demand their focus. They have a vision that needs their energy. They have a future so big, so powerful, that no single woman can ever distract them from it. This is the secret most men will never learn. When you start focusing on your own path, when you start building yourself up to a level where your presence alone commands respect, women will naturally gravitate towards you. They will start to respect you more. They will compete for your attention. They will adjust their schedules to fit into your life, not the other way around. Because a man with purpose is a man in control. But the man who throws away his purpose for a woman, that man will never be respected. This is why you must commit to your mission with everything you have. Wake up every morning with a vision so clear, so powerful, that no woman, no rejection, no setback can shake you. Create something in this world that demands your attention more than any woman ever could. Because the second you prioritize a woman over your purpose, you lose both. But when you prioritize your purpose over everything else, you become the man who has it all. The choice is yours. Be the man she gets bored with, the man she leaves for someone stronger, or be the man who is so locked into his destiny that women fight for a place in his life. Be the man who is chaste. Number 5. Command respect with your presence. Before you even open your mouth, before you say a single word, people already know what kind of man you are. How? Your presence, the way you walk, the way you stand, the way you hold yourself in a room. Every movement you make signals power or weakness. Women feel it instantly. Men feel it instantly. That energy, it's pathetic. It's repulsive. It tells people you are not a man to be taken seriously, but the man who commands respect with his presence. He doesn't have to ask for it. He doesn't have to explain himself. He doesn't have to prove himself. He walks into a room, and people feel it. Women notice, men acknowledge. The world adjusts to him. This is why body language is everything. It speaks before you do. It determines how people treat you without a single word being spoken. A weak man moves small. He shrinks himself. He looks around nervously, trying to see who's watching him, trying to seek approval. A strong man owns his space. He moves with certainty. He doesn't scan the room for validation. He makes the room react to him. Women notice this immediately. The man who walks with absolute confidence, with a relaxed but dominant posture, with strong, unshaken eye contact. That man doesn't need to chase because women are already watching. And here's what most men don't understand. Attraction is not logical. It's emotional. A woman doesn't choose a man because of his words alone. She chooses based on how he makes her feel. A man who commands respect with his presence makes her feel something primal, instinctive, uncontrollable. She doesn't know why she's drawn to him. She just is. And that's because nature recognizes power before the mind even has time to process it. It's the same reason why some men naturally dominate social interactions, while others get talked over, interrupted, or ignored. It's not about what they say. It's about how they carry themselves. A strong man speaks with calmness, authority, and certainty. He never rushes his words. He never looks around for approval. He speaks as if he expects to be heard, because he knows his voice carries weight. Weak men talk too fast. They use filler words. They over-explain. They seek permission to speak. And what happens? They get ignored. A man who commands respect with his presence is not just attractive to women. He is respected by men. Men don't respect the guy who tries too hard, who jumps into conversations just to be noticed, who speaks loudly in desperation for attention. They respect the man who knows his value, who doesn't need to force himself into any space, who lets his presence speak before he does. And when you have this energy, people will instantly treat you differently. Women will become curious about you. Men will naturally defer to you. The world will move around you, not the other way around. This is how power works. It's not about being aggressive. It's not about being loud. It's about owning your space so completely that people can't help but react to you. A lion doesn't roar all day long to prove he's the king of the jungle. He simply exists, moves with confidence, and everything else adjusts to him. That's the level you must operate at. So how do you implement this immediately? First, fix your posture. Straighten your back. Stop slouching. Keep your shoulders relaxed but firm. Walk as if you have nothing to prove, nothing to fear, nothing to hide. Second, master eye contact. Weak men look away first. Weak men avoid eye contact when speaking. Weak men blink too much, fidget, or act uncomfortable under the gaze of another person. Strong men hold steady eye contact, not in an aggressive way, but in a way that shows absolute presence. When you talk to someone, don't break eye contact first. When you walk through a crowd, look ahead, not down. When a woman speaks to you, stay locked in. Don't scan the room for distractions. Your eyes tell the world whether you are a man of value or a man who submits. Third, control your movements. Stop fidgeting. Stop touching your face. Stop shifting nervously. Every movement should be slow, deliberate, and confident. Powerful men don't rush. Powerful men don't act jittery. Powerful men don't make unnecessary movements. Everything they do is controlled, purposeful, and calculated. Fourth, speak with authority. Stop talking too fast. Stop over-explaining yourself. Stop using weak, uncertain phrases like I guess, maybe, and sorry. When you speak, do so with clarity and certainty. Let your words be a statement, not a question seeking approval. And lastly, own your space. Never shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Never adjust yourself to fit into the background. Never hesitate to take up space. The world respects a man who moves with certainty, who carries himself like he belongs, who never second-guesses his presence. When you master this, everything changes. Women will start looking at you differently. Men will start treating you differently. You will start feeling different about yourself. Because when you command respect with your presence, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. They will feel it before you even speak. Number 6. Never be too available. The moment you become too easy to reach, too eager to please, too available at all times, you have already lost the game. Women do not chase men who are always there. They chase men who are rare, men who have value, men who have a life bigger than them. But weak men don't understand this. They text first. They double text. They respond within seconds. They drop everything just to be at her service, and what happens? She loses respect. She pulls away. She gets bored, not because she's cruel, not because she's playing games, but because women are wired to be drawn to what is valuable. And what is valuable is never easy to get. A man who is always available is a man who has nothing important going on in his life. Think about it. If a man has a mission, a purpose, a vision that is greater than any single woman, do you think he's sitting around waiting for a text back? Do you think he's constantly checking his phone, wondering when she will reply? Do you think he's dropping his plans the second she wants attention? No. That's what weak men do. And weak men never win in the long run. But the high-value man, he is busy building himself. He is focused on his purpose. He has goals to accomplish, a future to create, and a legacy to leave behind. He is not available for every little moment of attention. And because of that, women chase him. Not because he's playing games, not because he's trying to be mysterious, but because he is naturally scarce. And scarcity creates desire. Look at the way people chase luxury brands. Look at how people go crazy over things they can't have easily. It's the same with attraction. Women do not value what is handed to them. They value what they have to work for. The moment you make her the center of your world, you become nothing in hers. But the moment you become a man of focus, a man of action, a man who is so locked in on his mission that she has to fight for a place in your life, that's the moment you become irresistible. Because a man who is not easily accessible is a man who is in control. And control is what commands respect. So what does this mean for you? It means you stop texting first all the time. It means you stop being the guy who is always waiting for her response. It means you stop adjusting your schedule to fit into hers. You make her adjust to yours. You make her chase your time, your presence, your attention. And when she finally gets it, she values it 10 times more than if you were just another guy who is always available, who is always there, who is always waiting. This is how attraction works. A woman's desire grows in the absence of your presence. When you are constantly in her face, constantly accessible, constantly chasing, she has no time to miss you, no time to crave you, no time to wonder about you. But when you are busy, focused, dedicated to something greater than her, she starts thinking about you more. She starts wondering why you're not chasing her like every other guy. She starts missing your presence, your energy, your attention. And when she finally gets it, it feels like a reward, like something she has to work to keep. This is the difference between a man who is overlooked and a man who is desired. One is always available, and therefore never truly wanted. The other is hard to get, and therefore never forgotten. So ask yourself, which man do you want to be? The one who texts her the second she posts on social media. The one who cancels his plans the second she wants attention. The one who is always free, always waiting, always hoping. Or the man who is so focused, so dedicated, so driven, that she has to work for his time. Be the man who is rare, valuable, and always in control of his time. Be the man who makes people earn his presence. Because a man who is not easily available is a man who is impossible to forget. Number 7. Stay unshaken by drama. Weak men fall into traps. They get emotionally hijacked, pulled into arguments, manipulated into reacting, dragged into unnecessary battles that make them lose control, lose respect, lose power. They don't realize that every time they act out, every time they get triggered, every time they let emotions take over, they are being played like a puppet. Women test men every single day, and most men fail instantly. She gives you attitude. She ignores your text. She brings up another man to see how you'll react. She suddenly gets emotional over something small. She picks a fight over nonsense. And weak men, they fall for it every time. They argue back. They explain themselves. They prove that they are emotionally unstable, easily controlled, and weak under pressure. And what happens when a man is easily shaken by drama? She loses attraction. She stops respecting him. She sees him as another weakling who crumbles under the slightest pressure. But the man who stays unshaken, she doesn't know how to handle him. She expects him to argue, to react, to chase after her approval. But instead, he remains completely calm, completely unbothered, completely in control. And that drives her crazy, because deep down, she knows this man is different. This man isn't like the rest. This man cannot be manipulated, cannot be emotionally controlled, cannot be dragged into chaos. And that's exactly why she respects him, why she desires him, why she chases him, harder than any other man in her life. Drama is a test. It's a way for women to see if you are truly strong or just pretending to be. If you react emotionally, if you argue, if you explain yourself, you fail the test. But if you stay calm, stay composed, stay in absolute control of yourself, you become untouchable. This is the real power move. Not reacting, not explaining, not getting emotionally invested in meaningless nonsense. When she gives you attitude, you smirk and carry on with your day. When she ignores your text, you stay focused on your mission. When she tries to pick a fight, you don't even engage. You must be the calm in the storm. Because the moment a woman sees that she can shake your emotions, she owns you. And once she owns you, she stops respecting you. Understand this. Women do not want to be with a man they can control emotionally. They want to be with a man who stays in control no matter what happens. This is why women always chase men who don't argue, who don't engage in drama, who don't get emotionally rattled, because that kind of self-control is rare. Most men are emotionally weak. They get defensive. They argue back. They explain themselves to a woman who is only testing them in the first place. And every time they react, they show her, I am not strong enough to handle this. But the man who stays detached, who stays unshaken, who remains in complete control of himself, he becomes impossible to manipulate, impossible to play games with, impossible to forget. So ask yourself, are you the kind of man who gets sucked into drama? Do you find yourself explaining, arguing, trying to win points in conversations? Do you let her emotions control you, dictate your mood, your energy, your actions? If you do, you are already losing. But if you train yourself to stay calm, to stay detached, to stay in control, you become the kind of man who is never disrespected, never discarded, never forgotten. Because when a woman knows she can't break you, she starts respecting you in a way she never has before. She starts seeing you differently. She starts feeling something deeper. Because deep down, women know only the strongest men can stay unshaken in the face of chaos. And that's exactly why those men always win. These 7 Stoic habits are not just about attraction. They are about becoming a man who is impossible to break, impossible to control, impossible to forget. Most men will never apply this. They will keep reacting. They will keep chasing. They will keep giving away their power. But the few who truly embrace this mindset, they become the men that women can't stop thinking about. The men who move through life with dominance. The men who never have to chase again. If you've made it this far, comment below, I refuse to chase. I am the prize. If you are done being weak, done being ignored, and ready to step into a level of power most men will never experience, subscribe to this channel right now. By supporting this channel, you're not just helping yourself, you're helping millions of men wake up and take their power back. Like this video, share it, and most importantly, apply what you've learned. Your time is now. Be the man who cannot be shaken.